Hello there, and welcome back to TerraFirmaCraft HardRock. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I am feeling much better now. Thank you for those who wished me well. Truth be told, I was actually feeling pretty good on Thursday, but yeah, having 5 days off was a nice change of pace. I haven't had a real break in many months. So I think today we're going to jump back into this book. I want to continue this quest line, so we need to make the windmill bearing, the windmill sail frames, and the water wheel. We have the water wheel, we just gotta go pick it up. But yes, so let's make the windmill bearing. So we need to start by taking a stripped log, applying andesite to it to make an andesite casing, and then apply andesite to that casing again. And that turns into a radial chassis. Next, we need to apply a turntable to the radial chassis. And the way we do that is we take a wooden slab and we add andesite to that. We pick that up and then we click that on. So that gives us a secondary linear chassis. From the secondary linear chassis, we add glue or ichor or any number of these different things. Do not use the create super glue. It will consume the super glue. I learned that the hard way. So we have a bit of glue here. Click that on. It's now a mechanical bearing. And to turn it into a windmill bearing, we just need to click it with andesite again. And there we go. That's the andesite. That's the windmill bearing. We can now put this down, connect our windmill sails to it, and produce rotational power like we do with our water wheels over here. So let's go pick up one of those water wheels right now, just so we have it. Can place it right back down as soon as we pick it up, because then it should count for the quest. Yep, check the quest. Yep, and now we need to make the sail frames. The sail frames are not difficult, but they're a little interesting. We need to make trapdoors first, and so in my crafting room here, I already have the trapdoors laid out. The recipe laid out. Right here, we need 8 trapdoors. We make 3 at a time, so we've got 9. No big deal. Place these down. And we need our axe, and we right-click them. So there we go. Now we have the frames. I think I can, yep, pick them up just like that. And that completes that quest. And so this unlocks fluids, rolling, mechanical saw, mechanical press, mixer, mechanical harvester, deployer, encased fan, millstone. We have almost everything here except for the mechanical harvester and the fluids, the fluid tanks, which we will eventually need anyway. But it doesn't look like any of these have secondary quests. Oh, the millstone does. So let's go quickly run over to where our setup is, and we'll pick up everything over there. And that will complete the individual quests as we do it. And this is where the wrench comes in handy. Picking up, moving this stuff. All you need is to click it once. This is gonna make a little bit of a mess, but so be it. Put it on backwards. There we go. And just need to pick up the saw, and that should do it. I put the saw on backwards. That shouldn't matter. And those are almost all done, and that brings us back to the crushing wheels, which we have back at our factory area, where all this stuff will be moving eventually. Save for the millstones. I might leave the millstones over there just because it's fitting that you would mill next to the river. Yeah. As I said in my vintage story episode that aired on Monday, I don't really min-max. I like doing things the fun way, and the fun way often involves me doing it wrong. But you know what? Whatever. So that is that. now we can make this drill. I haven't ever seen this drill before. It is create ore excavation mod. Let's ponder. Let's see what it says. Use the ore vein finder to find an ore vein. I wonder if these are real veins or fake veins. In one of the mods, adds an item called Digital Miner. I do not remember what mod it is at the moment. It might be IO, Ender IO. You can place this digital miner and it will find, I think it's the Ender IO one, will find fake veins. In other words, if you have a chunk and you dig out every block in that chunk, you don't find any iron, you can put the digital miner there and it will still find iron because it's not real iron. Anyway, I don't know if this does that or if this only finds ores that actually exist, and I've talked right through the information, so I have no clue if it said anything. Put the drill, put the requires rotational energy, extract the results. Okay, so it can extract fluid also, it looks like. Huh. That could be interesting. But that does require 25 of the mechanical crafters, and I have 21, so I would need to craft another 4 in order to make this. It's a lot of brass, and we would need the Tinker's Construct in order to do that. Alright, well, let's bookmark it. We can come back to it later. Sifter. Add a sieve to a millstone to turn into a sifter block, and this will, I imagine, auto sift from ex nihilo. Alright, well, it's auto sift some things. Crushed netherrack will give you red sand, redstone. Diorite gravel will give you copper, cephalerite, gold, coal, flint. Chalk gravel will give you white sand, osmium, silicon, and experience. And quartz gravel will give you white sand, fluoride, quartz, nether quartz, and silicon also. Is this the only way you can really get silicon in this pack? You can get it in the arc furnace also. So this is the most efficient way to get silicon, it looks like. So we're going to need to make this eventually. Anyway, we don't need it now. And I did this wrong my last episode. I've since then corrected it. I had the motor facing into this side. That will not transition power. You need it going into, obviously, one of the shafts. So I have it facing down into the shaft. We have an LV wire here connecting to this LV wire here. If I break in, we have another LV wire relay there. So what I want to do is grab one of these, one of those, and one of these. We're going to make another LV wire relay. It only makes one at a time. I needed 2. All right, well, that means I need to go make another copper thingamabob. But what we're going to do is from this here, power's down there. So if I put this one, I'm hoping that the electricity running from this to the wires and down to there does not make anything, any of the pollution explode on me, because I don't want explosions in my forge. So we have it on that block. How do I always forget? How do I already forget? Yes. So we have it on that block. So if I put another relay on there, I can connect that to there and connect that to there, and then from that to there. So I actually need to make another, I need to make another LV coil. I unfortunately made a copper spool instead of a coil, and there is no way to convert it into what I need. Yeah, that's kind of a waste. That's just going to sit in storage till I eventually need it again. I need extra copper. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to go make a bit more copper so I can finish this, and then we'll see if we can't power our setup from there. All right, let's place that one there. Now we want to do that to that. So those are connected now. We want to go upstairs. Again, this is not the permanent route up. I'll probably do a ladder in the future. So that provides power to that, which should be providing power to that. And then if we go over here, do that to that. Okay, that didn't work. Let's check the book. We need connectors, not relays. Okay, so that means I need to make more copper. So we replace this relay with a connector. We need 4 new connectors, but we replace all these relays with connectors, and that will provide power from there down to here, which will provide power to this whole setup. Granted, there's not much on the setup right now, but that's how we'll do it. So, yep, okay, let's go cook up a little more copper. I need 1 copper ingot per relay. I need 4 relays, so we need 4 more copper ingots. Then we're gonna need a copper wire per. 1 ingot makes 4 wires, so that's how I took care of myself last week. So let's grab that one there, and then we're gonna need 4 more of this. All right, let's try this again. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's all of our connectors. So if we do that and replace this, break this one here. Let's connect that, and then we gotta run back up here because this wire fell down. Do that to there, and now, I mean, that's correct. That's correct. So that's getting power. That's not. Does it not like the terracotta? Yeah, I'll be honest, I do not know why this isn't working. Well, since we have enough wires and we have some connectors, we can do it a little differently. Not at all efficiently, but we have a temporary workaround at the very least. We put that there. I'll put that there. Doesn't like it. Well, I know, if I put that up on a fence post, it should be able to reach down. Okay. It's very inefficient the way it's currently set up, but it is working somewhat. The dynamo is not producing enough power to keep the crushing wheels spinning. Click and hold to edit. We drop it down to 16. Yeah, so we're going to need to give this more power, which means we need the windmill, which we can't see right now. Oh, wow. That's far too dark. Yeah, okay. We'll wait till daytime, and then I'll show you what I'm looking at. Okay, slept through the night so we can look at this. Right now, the way the windmill is set up, we only have 1 blade on it. So it is going quite slow. If we put all 8 blades on it, it will spin faster, which will produce more energy, which should mean this actually stays full of energy. How did that come off? I must have... Oh, you know what must have happened? I must have switched it to be the wrong rotation, which meant it rotated the wrong direction, which popped it off. Okay, well, we know how to... no harm, no foul. Let's go with that. That's got power. That is not spinning properly. Let's make more windmill blades. Remember last time we made them, we needed these... We needed burlap or tough fabric, but we don't have industrial hemp fiber. We do now have a single hemp seed, but I think I need vanilla farmland to grow those. I don't know how well they grow. And oh, I have 3. Let's experiment. Boy, this... Okay, so playing this without shaders on very much reminds me of like early 2000s gaming. Like this looks like, I don't know, kind of reminds me of like early Quake. It's weird how the color differences are. All right, so let's do that and that. I'm gonna need to give this access to water, aren't I? Yeah, there we go. So that will grow. At least that should grow. We're not going to sit around waiting for them all to grow, although I can grab a few more pieces of vanilla dirt, put them down, and just try to grow these hemp seeds. Since they grow based on vanilla mechanics and not TFC mechanics, they should grow quite quickly. We do still have jute fibers, though, I can use. Got plenty of it, so gonna be using these to make more of the burlap. And just grow some of these just to have extra. And just make a few more of these. Yep, that gives us 3 more sails. So if we apply these, we should be able to speed this up by quite a bit. Let's see, right now, yeah, we reach 144, and that's about it. That sped that up considerably. Not enough to keep this running, but I think I'm seeing 2... No, but it is running... Well, it's still intermittent, but it's running better. So we gotta make another 4 more sails. And then this should be running consistently. And that's why I want to get the clutch, which is a gearbox plus a redstone torch, and that will allow us to turn on and off the individual modules. Also, I mean, if we're going to leave this here, probably going to want to move this over a little bit more. Turn the lights back on now that's becoming night again. Move this over a little bit more so that it's more space efficient. And then we can see about setting up some other stuff over here. All right, I'm going out for a bit of a flight here. I want to go up north to where we found the kaolite and the graphite because I want to make gunpowder so we can finally make the compressed iron. To make the gunpowder, we need saltpeter and sulfur. I need to double check where you find sulfur, but I know you can find saltpeter in sedimentary rock, which is claystone, and I think the limestone that we found the kaolite in also has a chance of having it, so that's where we're heading. Once I get up there, I'll also check where we can find sulfur. Might be able to find it in basalt, which we have to pass over anyway. So I think basalt is a volcanic rock where you imagine you'd find sulfur. Anyway, I'll look when we get there. And so I'm gonna go out, try to find some sulfur, find some saltpeter, and come back, make some TNT. I think we can make tiny TNT. And then try to make our compressed iron so we can finally get on with making the smeltery, or at least the early smeltery from Tinker's Construct. I've mentioned this before, but I'll say it again since it's worth referencing. Open up your map, zoom all the way in, and then you can highlight over the different items on the ground. Here I'm highlighting over loose basalt rock, and you'll see down here at the bottom of the screen it says what it is. If you look around carefully, you'll see miscolored items. Here we've got native copper. Down here we've got hematite. Over here we have loam grass and gravel. And so what I'm doing is I'm zooming all the way in. I'm looking for areas where the coloration changes, and I'm seeing what they are. So those are pumpkins. This over here is more copper. This here is hematite. Finding a lot of iron and copper. Here's gold. And yep, this is just how I'm searching. I did double check the book quickly. Sulfur is from indigenous extrude, which includes rhyolite, basalt, andesite, and dacite. So we're in basalt right now, looking for sulfur on the map. Likewise, right over here is the limestone area. And so I'll look over here for the saltpeter in a little bit, assuming I didn't find some already and just forgot about it. Another little tip for you, looking on the map here, and you notice some of these are sort of this pinkish salmon color. No, I guess this is more salmon. Sort of this pinkish red color here. That's kaolite. If I go right next to me, we have lignite, and these are the mineral ores. Whereas right here, very hard to see. If I can actually get one. Magnetite. So that's an ore. That's an ore, whereas this is a deposit. So the deposits have this sort of pinkish color to them, whereas the ores are a greenish color. So since I'm looking for sulfur and for saltpeter, I want to be looking for these pinkish ones that stand out a bit better. There's actually not too many out here in the basalt area, but I did see a few over here, and there's sulfur over here. So we're going to be heading over there in a little bit to collect the sulfur. So right now I'm looking over here, just looking for any of these areas that stand out a little more, like right here, and this is halite. And up here is a lot of halite. I wonder if there's lignite ore and there's halite, and that's kaolite. I should probably mine up some more kaolite while I'm out here. But yeah, we're just going to look around for these pinkish deposits, looking for saltpeter now. And just to stop recording, I actually found saltpeter up here. So I'm going to turn that one on so I can know where to fly to find it. And I'm going to turn on the waypoint I just made down here for the sulfur. That's not hidden. Okay, so we know there is saltpeter all the way up here. Not too bad. I should check if I found it elsewhere a bit closer. I don't think I did. And we'll go mine up some of that. We'll mine up some more kaolite, and then we will head back home. I should just double check the gunpowder recipe. Saltpeter, sulfur, charcoal powder, graphite. We got graphite. We can make charcoal powder. We just need saltpeter and sulfur. Okay. No surprises. I'm good to go. Oh, I coaxed the sheep into my gyrodyne, so we'll have wool when we get home. And we found the saltpeter. We did have to dig down a bit deeper than I thought. And we broke into a cave right over here. And there are not fun things in that cave, so we're just gonna leave that blocked up. One of them spawned and came after me. Thankfully, I had a spear. But yeah, so we're down here. We found our saltpeter, which is good. There's also a large supply of gypsum around here, which is good because we can turn gypsum into alabaster. And, what Roman home is complete without an alabaster bathing basket? I wonder who got that reference. So I need to make up a few more supports. I did make a... Here we go. Chopping block so I can make supports on the road. It's not as efficient as the saw back at home, but we can do it on the road, so it's convenient. Now I'll go down, mine up a bunch of that saltpeter, maybe find some of the gypsum, since I do want the gypsum. So first off, the gypsum is a nice block color to begin with, but you can dye gypsum, so we can have blue, pink, red, you name it. So if we want to add a little more texture to our walls, or if we want to sculpt things, use chisel and bits, we can use it to get different colors. So it's definitely worth having for decoration, if nothing else. Let's go back down. Let's mine up not all, but let's go mine up a whole bunch of saltpeter, and then we can get out of here. Well, okay, then we can go mine up, I'm having a brain fart, sulfur, and then we can get out of here. And the gypsum is actually part of this vein. So you see this bit of gypsum there, there's a bit of gypsum there, some up there. So we get everything in one go. So this is very nice. And a little tip about mining sulfur. Yep, you create sulfur pollution when you do mine it. So yeah, your sulfur mine will become very polluted very quickly. But I've got 3 bits of sulfur, which is not much, but we only need 2 per gunpowder. 2 per 12. This will process, each one processes down into at least 7. It's 21. That's enough to make 120 gunpowder. So we don't have much sulfur, but it goes a very long way. And this is, it says it's a medium sample, but I'm only finding like 1 or 2 at a time. This is not a very efficient way to mine it. So we're gonna have to come back in the future and hopefully have more luck. But we at least have sulfur. We've got everything we need. Now we can go make our gunpowder. But I was checking the recipe book a few minutes ago. They do not have tiny gunpowder in this, tiny TNT in this mod. So that's unfortunate. We can make these, however, from supplementary. 4 iron ingots, 1 string, 1 TNT gives us 4, which should have a smaller explosion, but we get 4 times the amount, and any explosion will make the compressed iron. Mind you, there's a 33% chance of loss, and we have so far lost all of it, but that also might be because when the dust went up, it caused secondary explosions that would have destroyed the compressed iron. So that might be the reason why. Anyway, I've got everything we need. Now we get to go back and actually make some fun stuff. And we're back home, and I was just expanding our cellar's storage a little bit, and I want to craft one more thing with you quickly. So we gotta make a few more planks. I need literally 4 more lumber so I can make this next item for this quest. Okay. Those there. Those there. These make hangers. And that does complete a quest I was working on. And we can stick these along the ceiling here. And then we can hang meat and garlic from these. I don't remember if I can hang anything else. Well, not cabbage. Alright, so 4 months, 1 day on here. Let's take all those out, put them here. 1 month, 18 days. Oh, I didn't make it valid. There we go. 4 months, 19 days. So yeah, they're just as good for holding meat and garlic as a food shelf. Let's go make ourselves some TNT to make the compressed iron. So we have our charcoal powder, our sulfur, our saltpeter, and our graphite. Want this recipe. Gives us 2 batches for now. I didn't bring sand with me, so I don't know why there are 2 recipes. Anyway, we just needed 1 of TNT. Grab our string and our raw iron, and then we can turn this into those. And now I haven't tested these to see if they work with the compressed iron. We are going to find out the hard way. I am of course going to do it outside our base, but inside our claimed chunks so that we don't have to worry about putting holes in the ground. How about right here? It's a nice open area. So we toss these on the ground. I think we just need to throw that. Yes. All right, that gave us 1 compressed iron. We needed more than 1. I do not want these stacked on top of each other. There we go. That gives us 4. And I think that is all we need to make the heatsink. That takes 4. That takes 4. Each of those is worth 4. So yeah, so now we have to weld these together, hammer them down into compressed sheets, and we can make the heat sink. I am still a long way from making this blast furnace. I need 10 sheets of steel. I have the steel. And then I need to make additional 8 ingots of wrought iron. But there we go. We now have the compressed iron. We can make the heat sink. And so next episode, we can actually get the smeltery up and running, or at least the starter smeltery. And we can get started on Tinker's Construct, which will unlock, amongst other things, new tools and new armor. But I think it's going to be it for today. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you've had a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Later.